I'll start, okay.
Okay, so my research focused on the link between close reading and comprehension. With the Common Core now, we all hear close reading all the time, and I was interested to see if during a short-term study we could really see if there was any significant difference in the kids' comprehension development. So my question was, does explicit close reading instruction increase reading comprehension in at-risk elementary school students? I used the QRI-5 narrative and expository passages, and I also used reading A to Z quick check questions to determine this. The kids that I met with were already part of an RTI program, and I was meeting with them 3 times a week. So I just incorporated my study right into that intervention.
I'm pausing this for 1 minute. I'm pausing it. Just
Okay.
wait. Put it on slideshow from this slide.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Up at 5, right?
Go over the slideshow, and then go from current slide, the second one in.
Under file,
Up.
and then current.
From her.
Right there.
Okay.
All right, I'm resuming.
Okay.
Okay.
So the rationale for my study was, as I said, the Common Core has brought close reading to the forefront of so much instruction, and we know that Anchor Standard 1 tells us that students have to be expected to read text critically, and they need to be able to understand it, and they have to do that independently. So I looked at different ways, different frameworks to use to teach the kids these strategies, because it seems as though we all understand, we know that questioning is one of the comprehension strategies that we need, and that predicting is a comprehension strategy. But during my literature review, I could see that there was, some people thought that teachers were not incorporating enough comprehension strategy because there wasn't the research on it, and other people were saying, no, there's too much and teachers don't know what to do with, how to do it, how to get it all in. So I found that before I began, I really had to have a thorough understanding of reading comprehension, and I wanted to understand what close reading was exactly and how it differs from critical literacy. And I then did my research and analyzed. So we know that the most important thing about reading is comprehension. It's the reason that we read, and that came from Charlack, and she's the one that I found the framework that I based my study on. It's called the START framework. I'm going to skip right forward here. And the START framework is students and teachers actively reading text. And the idea is that you can take any chapter of a book, or if it's a shorter book, you can use the whole book, and you can incorporate 8 comprehension strategies within that one chapter or book. And it teaches the kids how to use the strategies independently. So you start off with read alouds, and you model the strategies. The kids would have their piece of paper with the 4 blocks on it, and then they use Post-it notes. So it's not an overwhelming task for them. And before reading, they would talk about, in this book, I think, and that would be your predicting strategy. During reading, they talk about, one of the next block says, in my mind I see, and that would encourage visualization. This reminds me of, and that encourages making connections, and I wonder would be the questioning piece. And then after reading, they get their second page with, again, the 4 blocks on it, and they would fill in, on the Post-it notes, I think the most important thing, which helps them determine what the main idea is, in 10 words or less, which encourages them to learn how to summarize, use their own words to tell what the story was about. My original prediction would be checking their predictions, and my favorite part would be the making judgments piece. I found that at the end of the study, they all demonstrated an increase in comprehension, and the most meaningful piece of my results, I thought, was in the unaided recall, the pre-test, and between the pre-test and the post-test. There wasn't a huge gain with the look-backs. They all did all right with that in the beginning, but
We also had a short study time.
it was a very short study time, yes. But with the unaided recall on both the narrative and the expository passages, they had a pretty significant gain, which to me was telling that I felt that they were able to, after such a short study, I think it was 7 weeks that I met with them, they were able to use those strategies independently. And I have to find a nice way to wrap that up. That's the end. Besides saying that.
So where are your questions? Do you have them written out, or do you ask them?
I do not have my questions written out. I wasn't really thinking that. I thought we were just supposed to ask a question.
I have no idea.
Did everyone else have them written out in their presentation?
I didn't write it out yet.
I would suggest you put it on, I personally might like to see the question out
Yeah.
if I had to answer it, so I would add it
Well,
as an in, at the end. It's not part of your presentation.
right. Okay, should I ask my question now anyway?
Yeah, let them talk about it.
So my question was, do you find that it's hard to get all of these strategies into kind of one session, or is it more like a skill of the week? Today we're predicting, or for this week or this 2 weeks we'll practice predicting. For this skill of the week we'll talk about questioning. Because to me it's always been more piecemeal, and that's what I love so much about this framework.
Talk together just a minute.
Will you be there to defend and you can tell people talk?
Yeah, I like reading it.
So
I could hear my readers talking every week. Do that, and I feel like I do.
In third grade, I have them, I introduced it all, like the first 2 months, and now when they read, they do it all, and with sticky notes.
Yeah.
So third graders are able to remember it and do it. Right. So.
Yeah.
You could have them draw pictures for that,
Gotcha.
Did your